Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Peace and blessings unto everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening, viewers. We are very blessed to have an amazing session, inshallah. We are going to be speaking to a very special guest. She's a nutritional therapist in all the way from Durban, South Africa, and she'll be speaking to us about the importance of correct nutrition and what does it mean to practice holistic nutrition. We have Sadia Ghoor waiting for us, and she's going to be joining us. Just to give you a bit of a recap, we have several testimonies of people who've joined this health and wellness challenge of the Ansari Holistic Healing Institute, and they have found tremendous benefits in this. So we would welcome you to follow the YouTube links, follow the progress that we've had and the challenges that we have put forward month to month, and go according to your own pace. And we welcome all your testimonies so that we can see that, alhamdulillah, this is helping and acknowledge and be able to continue the work that we plan to do, inshallah. So without further delay, let's welcome Sadia. Assalamu alaikum, Sadia. Welcome.
Walaikum salam, Rubina. It's a pleasure to be on the show. Peace and blessings to all of you here. I probably will give you some insight on what nutrition is all about. I'm sure you all might have heard these words, nutrition. What does it really mean to you? So basically, it's a process of taking in food and drink and using it for growth, metabolism, and repair. So basically, this is more for your overall well-being. And what does good nutrition mean? It actually means obtaining the right type of foods in the right correct amounts. So this is something that we do daily, right? And looking further, there are probably other factors, external factors, that also contribute to our nutritional well-being. So I will just give an outlay of few of the other factors that will contribute, or maybe something that you haven't really considered. But these are a few points that will probably change your mind on what nutrition is, what does it actually mean. So the first one is sugar. We know sugar is in most of the items that we have today, but why is it harmful? So when we look at sugar, it actually disrupts the gut bacteria. What do we mean by that? The gut bacteria is bacteria that's found in your gut. You have the harmful and the beneficial ones. So it actually wipes out all the good bacteria. So you know what can happen from there. So we have like skin conditions like eczema and psoriasis. All these things erupt just by eating so much of sugar. So you can see from that aspect of sugar, how it can disrupt your gut and cause further problems. I mean, thinking about it, sugar, we would just have a donut and never think about it again. I mean, what does it happen? Okay, in the long run, that's when problems arise. That was the first one. Then we have genetically modified organisms. I'm sure you may have seen the signs everywhere, GMO. What does it actually really mean? These GMOs, it can be plant or animals. These are organisms when the DNA is actually altered from the seedling. So it's, if I have to talk about it in layman's terms, it's actually altering God's formula. So if you look at it, it's not organic anymore. It's not real anymore. And these also cause gut imbalances. Now, you may have heard that I am talking about gut imbalances all the time. What does it mean by that? Gut imbalances, meaning that it disrupts your whole colon, the bacteria, and the gut is actually the center of your health, your center of your overall health. So when we look at your gut health, if your gut is in good condition, your overall health is actually in good health. So this is why we look at GMOs. GMOs are actually very harmful for the gut bacteria. So for example, we have maize here in South Africa. Most of the maize is genetically modified. And how will you know whether it agrees with you or not? So some people find that they have a lot of food sensitivities, food intolerances, allergic reactions. This is basically not with the organic maize, it's more with genetically modified maize. So if you're having the real organic one, you won't have these type of trouble arising. So it's basically foods that are not original anymore. It's away from what God has given us. So this is what is GMO, genetically modified organisms. Another aspect that affects our health is medication. I know there's a time and place for it, but I thought it would be good just to let you know how it affects our overall health. Here, if you look at, for example, antibiotics. Antibiotics is like putting a bomb in your microbiome. So imagine what happens. It's all your beneficial and your harmful bacteria get wiped out completely. So it takes exactly, not exactly, about almost about 6 months before you start getting your good bacteria, provided you eating the correct nutrients. So these imbalances, they lead to bloating, yeast infections, again, skin conditions. And you wonder to yourself, why does this happen? I mean, I'm eating healthy. So medication also plays a big role in your holistic health. And another aspect is your oils, like your vegetable oils. We have the sunflower and your margarine, sunflower oils, margarines, canola oils. These are all inflammatory oils because they're high in omega-6 and linoleic acids. So when they are heated up to high temperature, they actually release a compound called aldehyde. This aldehyde is what causes inflammation in the body. And we've seen cases where many people are suffering with arthritis. Just by reducing the amount of toxic oils, they see a huge difference. So what you put in your body is very, very, very important to your overall health. And these oils need to be eliminated. And obviously there are many, many different other oils that you could use as a substitute. Then we have dairy and wheat. Some people are lactose tolerant or just don't do well with dairy. Wheat is another component that causes lots of inflammation. Why? Because they are genetically modified. As I said earlier, uh, they are actually altered from the original formula God has given us. So when we move away from what God has given us, this is what happens. We start experiencing symptoms like psoriasis. Then we have even what's called eczema, and even other lifestyle diseases like diabetes. All these are formed from inflammation. So all these points that all these aspects that I've pointed out cause high inflammation in the body. And with high inflammation, people express it differently. Some people will become overweight, others will develop psoriasis, other people will get like autoimmune conditions. So each individual is different. And sometimes you would ask the question, but I've been having this for so many years. Why is it happening now? Remember, things happened over time. So nothing happens overnight. This happens over time. So maybe 2 or 3 years you've been having it, nothing is happening, but 10 years down the line, something does happen. So these are just few factors that contribute to your overall health. Another great important one is stress. A little stress is fine, but when it goes out of hand, that's when it expresses as physical symptoms. And most of the lifestyle diseases today, like diabetes, hormonal imbalances, are all caused due to stress. So if you cut out stress, better stress management, you will see there will be slight improvement. Obviously, this is stress over many years. Nothing happens overnight. You gotta make lifestyle changes. Everything happens gradually. And another aspect that we look at is your cleaners, your household cleaners, the lotion that you put on your body, toothpaste that you use, the air fresheners. All these items are chemicals that are toxic to the body. So when we have, just for example, your lotion that you put on, all these chemicals are absorbed like a sponge through your skin, entering the bloodstream straight into your liver. And what happens? It causes imbalances without you even knowing it. I mean, these are just few aspects that we do daily, and we don't even know how it's affecting our health. So these are all harmful, toxic substances that can cause hormonal imbalances. It causes liver and gut imbalances. So these are items that can be used. You get more of what you call organic or natural. They are alternatives. You need to look out for those, because even breathing in air freshener, it affects the lungs. I mean, think about all those chemicals going in you. It's just like eating, but these are expressed through our lungs and our skin. These are all absorbing organs. They also affect our health. So even whatever you breathe, whatever you apply on your skin, and whatever you eat, all this affects your overall health. So it's just not about eating. Another aspect is heavy metals. We find this in our tap water. That's why it's great to invest in a good water top purifier. So you can eliminate all your fluoride and your chlorine, all these heavy metals that are also affecting our body. These cause nerve imbalances. Sometimes you just feel brain fog and you wonder, what is all this? But these are all factors that contribute to our overall health. Another aspect is amalgam fillings, your mercury fillings. Those also affect our health, and without even look into your mouth. Are these silver fillings there? You need to maybe change it with a bioidentical dentist. And maybe over time, it's a long process. Healing does take time, but at least you're aware of what's happening in your life and what contributes to your overall health. So another aspect what would be good to do is oil pulling. That would be good for your overall oral health. How do you do this? You would take a tablespoon of olive oil or coconut oil and swish it in your mouth for 20 minutes. Always, always, always spit it outside in the drain, not in your bathroom, because you don't want the same bacteria recirculating in your air, in your home again. So all this is very, very, very important to take note of. Then we have our thought patterns. What we think is what we become. Think about it this way. Have you ever been stressed or angry? What happens to the body? The liver is affected. It becomes stagnant. That means 500 functions known to man is compromised. So if you have to look at that, it affects our overall health. Even with depression, you may find you have chest pains sometimes, and when you have your heart levels checked or you go to a cardiologist, the levels are all great, but what's happening to me? You are depressed and you actually finding problems with your breathing. But these are all physical symptoms that you're experiencing with the emotions that are getting manifested in these organs. So it's more like getting your thought patterns right. Best way to do it is doing affirmations. I find that so great to do. Start off your day with just saying, I'm motivated, I am strong. And even if you don't believe it, you finally will feel it. Obviously, everything takes 21 days to become a habit. Everything we start in life takes time. And if we look at our overall health, any good habit that you do, anything that you introduce, give it time. 21 days, make a habit. Remember that. So you can see with all the points that all the factors that I've pointed out are so many external factors, not only food and drink. So you have a choice every single day to nourish the body or poison it, obviously unknowingly. So hopefully you are empowered now to make the right choice. And Rubina, back to you. Any
Thank you so
question?
much. Yes, thanks, Amalin Sadia. Alhamdulillah, this has been absolutely informative. So, viewers, we have a lot of contemplation to do. Looking at literally sitting down, pen and paper, look at what we are doing daily. We've been focusing, if we are very much into focusing on the type of food that we're eating. Yes, Sadia has given us guidelines, and you're most welcome to contact her as well in terms of if you want a proper eating plan and in terms of um, your particular temperament and what type of foods that are good for you, she will be able to guide you with that. And also we got to look at now what is actually, I mean, Sadia mentioned breathing. She mentioned the effects of cleaning products that we use to clean our homes and the washing powders that we're using to wash our clothes. All of this has definitely an effect on our well-being. And then she brought up the fact of emotion and the fact of thought. So following the Ansari holistic healing challenge, as we go along, we've introduced each of these factors and with pointers, and we've given you some guidelines on how to observe the thoughts, look at the emotions, and also the other aspect was the breathing. And another very important thing, Sadia, that you brought out, which is, I mean, phenomenal for me, was again oral health. Because if our mouth and our teeth are not clean, what's going to happen? The stuff is going to go down, and we, even the most healthiest of food that we're eating, or the most organic food, we're definitely poisoning it by the fact that the vessel that we're using is not clean. And the oil pulling suggestion is there as well. And also the aspect of the filling, the mercury fillings. I know for myself, I'd like to share this experience that I had quite a few, and I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism. And as soon as I removed the amalgam fillings, within 6 months, that had disappeared. So I was free from, alhamdulillah, taking any medication for the thyroid. So there are benefits, and it's a beautiful introduction for us, for those of us who haven't been introduced to holistic nutrition, to look at all of this and inshallah make these lifestyle changes. And there is help out there. The other aspect is, don't be afraid to ask for help. And another important point that Sadia made, it takes time. So be patient with yourself, be patient with the process, and inshallah, one step at a time. It reminds me of a hadith, a tradition of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is that when we take one step to God, God comes 10 steps to us. So it's about becoming the better version of ourselves. And nutrition, holistic nutrition, is one of those most important steps that we can take to get closer and become to our creator and to become the better version of ourselves. We have a comment here about the amalgam. It says, I have very deep amalgam fillings for so many years. How can I help, or how can this be removed? Sadia?
Okay, you can't just go to any dentist. You'll have to look for a bioidentical dentist in your area. And I'm sure there's quite a few there. If you just do research on that, they would know how to remove it, because as they are removed, the vapors of the mercury is exposed. Or so there has to be a process. You can't just go to anybody to do that. You got to go to a professional that is aware of how to overcome the challenges involved in removing these fillings.
Yes, just to share from my experience as well, after I removed it, I was taken immediately to a place this like 2 blocks away, where I was given a vitamin C drip to be able to help support the body so it doesn't become toxic, and to build the immune system in case there were any mercury vapors that had been exposed and entered into the body. So yes, going to a biodentist will definitely help, and you need to do it professionally. So thank you, Sadia. Please, we welcome questions. Sadia is here. We are to support you and help you, inshallah, with your journey. So you're most welcome to ask your questions. While we wait for some questions, Sadia, in terms of, you spoke about the affirmations. How does one introduce an affirmation in one's life? Like, would you, just give us an example? Is it something that you look at, that you're looking at, that you feel you need a boost on? So you would look to that?
Okay, there's quite a few videos available on YouTube, starting out on this journey, also for me with positive thinking. I came quite a few, you get these 15-minute videos, and some of them are quite lengthy. So, and sometimes you just need to see, there may be a list also available online. And you could see what actually resonates with you, something that you want to improve with. And maybe make a list of your own and then say it to yourself each day. I would recommend it doing it early morning and before going to bed. And sometimes I do it like in between the day, until you see you don't even have to say it anymore. It's just there. And then you'll see you suddenly just manifesting this. I mean, for example, I would always say, I'm strong, I'm strong. I mean, I felt strong, but I needed more of that. And until I actually felt that strength within me, and I felt I did manifest it. So it's basically like training your subconscious mind to believe that it can be strong. So I would start off with maybe going through some YouTube videos and see what really resonates with you. And you know what, really, I find that every time I go on and I check a YouTube video, it's always something that's meant for me. I mean, this morning I managed to find one, and it was actually so me. It was like I just felt it was just right, as if God just directed me to it. So with the intention of you finding something for yourself, ask God, please guide me to what's good for me. And with that intention, the right one will just come along. I mean, it happened to me every single time. So I'm sure it would be for you too.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I love the fact that you said, ask for help, ask God for help, because He's the master, He's the owner, and He knows us better than we know ourselves. So asking for help is the most beautiful step. And then also living, I find that your example as a holistic nutritionist, your connection with the Creator is also enhanced, because you are then even finding that you are being guided every step of the way in terms of what food are you going to eat, what type of products are you going to have. So it seems like that that is the best radar, to have that connection and then be guided along. So
Most
alhamdulillah,
definitely.
it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And when we see our overall health is great, the connection to our creator is it's on another level. You feel much more connected, and you see a difference. I mean, there's no brain fog anymore. There's no pain anymore. So there's no distractions. It's just you and God, and that's it. So it's a beautiful experience.
This is absolutely beautifully explained, because what happens when we're in pain, it is a distraction.
Yes.
It becomes quite daunting, even to pray or to do simple tasks. And the idea is to be able to connect with peace and wellness and health in all areas of our lives. Do you have any questions that you'd like to share with us, Sadia, in terms of, in your practice, the regular questions that you get? I see we don't have anything at the moment, just maybe one or two that you'd like to share. Okay, we have a question coming up here.
Yeah.
It says here, I also have picked up lots of weight around my abdomen, so can't seem to lose that. What would that be? What would be the cause for that?
Okay, so firstly, it could be a sign of insulin resistance. So most of the time, or it could be hormonal imbalances, depending on your age. So it's just quite a few aspects that we look at. I mean, we can't generally say looking at abdominal gain, I mean, weight gain, it cannot actually be one thing. There's a lot of factors. And underlying is always stress.
Mm.
So with stress, hormonal imbalances, from hormonal imbalances, you get insulin resistance, and it goes on and on and on. So the root cause is stress. And from there, everything else build up. And with that, you get a lot of other conditions coming up with that. And we never ever really think about it. I mean, how is stress really affecting my weight? And
Mm.
it does, big time, it does. So if you look at your life, find out where is the stress is coming from, try better stress management. And with that, a lot of issues can be eliminated, most definitely.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Sadia. We have
thanks.
another question. Many people are concerned about the COVID vaccine, and they'd like to know what your guidance is in this regard.
Okay, this is not actually, this is more of a personal choice. I can't really comment on that because it's a very wide range of a topic. I mean, it all depends on your intention. And for me, I feel building a good immune system is the first basic uh, component you need to do. So here again, healthy eating comes into practice, and being whatever points I've made, check if you in line with that. That also contributes to your immune health. So if you have a good, strong defense mechanism, meaning your immune system is strong, you can overcome the virus, but everyone is different. I cannot make a generalized statement on this platform because this is something that you need to see on your level, how you respond to, I mean, how's your condition. I would suggest for the start would be is to get your immune system strengthened. And by doing obviously good healthy eating, getting all holistic health in tune will get your immune system strong, and your defense will be strong. That would be the first aspect. Regarding the vaccine, that would be a personal choice.
Jazakallah for that, Sadia. Um, there's another question here, but I don't see, I can't. Children. I think she wants to know. 1 second, let me just have a look here. In terms of normal delivery and Caesar, I think regarding the abdominal, the belly fat. So I don't really understand exactly. I think she said after giving birth to her children. So she does, oh, she's got 3 normal and 1 Caesar. Okay, so she's got 4 children. She's 50 years old and she's has 4 kids. The 3 of them she gave birth normally, and she had 1 cesarean. So would that contribute to the abdominal fat?
Okay, so as we get older, we got to understand that metabolism does slow down. So that would also play a role, looking at your age. And yeah, that would I wouldn't actually blame the cesarean for the belly fat. I would consider factors like hormonal imbalances, which play a role from 35 onwards. So obviously there'll be a decline in your hormones like your estrogen and progesterone. From, you can say from 40 onwards, there's already a plummet in your progesterone hormone. And then we tend to have estrogen dominance. And with this, weight gain does happen. So it could be a contributing factor that there's more estrogen than progesterone in the body. So a natural progesterone supplement would be advised. I mean, we've seen this quite a lot in our practice. So I would suggest have hormonals or have your hormones checked and see which ones are actually depleted. Most of the time is the progesterone that is much lower than the estrogen. And when you get these hormonal levels balanced again, then there will be a little bit less of a challenge to lose weight. Obviously, provided you eating correctly, correct portions. I mean, that all plays a role in that. So I wouldn't really contribute the cesarean section as the cause of the weight gain. I would look at hormones. They play a big role. I mean, not only if your female and the male hormones are imbalanced, that's just one aspect of hormones. Then we have the insulin, then we have thyroid. These are all hormones. All these hormones have to be in symphony. That means if you look at it, if one is out of balance, then the whole symphony is out. So everything becomes imbalanced. So and then that also affects weight. If you look at your female hormones are imbalanced, then the thyroid will be imbalanced because thyroid plays a role in metabolism. And with slow metabolism, then you start gaining weight as well. So all these are contributing factors, especially since the lady mentioned she's 50. So these are the contributing factors that will lead to weight gain. I think that would cover everything.
Jazakallah, beautifully explained, Sadia. Thank you. We're going to go for our last question. The question is, naturally found sugars such as in fruits, are they also harmful?
No, this is actually your fruit sugars, your hormones, I mean your fructose. Basically, if you are insulin resistant and you diabetics, then you can't have too much of a portion. Then you would go for those that are lower in carbs, like your berries, blueberries, strawberries. Those are great. Obviously, a banana will be higher in sugar. I'm not saying avoid it. I'm just saying have less. So these are just guidelines that we follow, especially if you are diabetic or insulin resistant. Then these sugars will affect your sugar your sugar levels. Obviously, sometimes if we're having like a fruit salad, there's a whole mixture of fruit, and a huge bowl will make a big difference. I mean, it's the portions that we allowed. We make sure it's like few portions throughout the day. And with diabetics and insulin resistance, caution needs to be taken. That would be advised, most definitely.
Thank you so much, Sadia, for your time, for sharing the knowledge with us. And Alhamdulillah, we've definitely benefited. We've learned so much about holistic nutrition, which I don't think many of us were introduced to before. So we thank you for that. And we hope to see you in one of our future programs. Jazakumullah khair.
Inshallah, yeah. Inshallah, it was great being on board. And if there is any other questions, I'm sure you can contact me as well. And it was great. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Thank you, viewers, for joining us. And until next time, hopefully we'll see you soon. And please, you're most welcome to ask your questions. We have our practitioners on the website. You can have their contact details are on there. So please do subscribe to the channel, like it, share it, and let's see how we can help heal the world one person at a time, starting with you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Thank you.
Would you like to learn how to connect with Allah through His beautiful names? Would you like to learn how to heal using natural remedies and modalities? Would you like to cleanse yourself from any negativity, black magic, and nazar? If you answered yes to these questions, then the Ansari Holistic Beginners Healing course is for you. Empower yourself to healing. Add this knowledge to your current practice, or let it be a new beginning of hope for you. WhatsApp +27 82357 8666.